Hey you guys, how's it going? So today I'm going to be sharing the results from an Ancestry DNA test that I did. A little bit of background on this. My mom got me the test for Christmas because every time I'd see that commercial on TV, I'd be like, I want to do that because I'm like so curious about what our background is. As far as I knew in our recent lineage, my dad had some Native American on his side of the family. I believe his grandma was Native, so my great-grandma, one of his grandparents, and then I think there's also some Native on my mom's side, and then besides that, I just knew that we were both pretty French on both sides, French-Canadian, but that, could come with anything from Europe, right? So I was just kind of curious of the whole breakdown, because I've had some people ask me what my background was, and I've always just been I don't know, French Canadian. I never really knew, I guess. So I was just curious to see going back. So I thought it'd also be fun to ask you guys on Instagram what you thought my background was, what you thought the breakdown was going to be that I would get, just to kind of see if anyone guessed it right. And I think one person guessed it almost exactly, and I was actually really surprised with the results that I got, but I'll share those with you a little bit later. So let's dive on in through these answers. So I got, let's see, Bulgarian from someone guessed Russian, someone guessed French Scandinavian and maybe a little British, someone guessed French and German, we have 100% gangster, we have English, Italian, Eastern European, and French. Someone said 100% Swedish. It's one of my Swedish friends. And then someone said European with British heritage. Someone said Italian and Irish. And someone guessed Scottish and French Canadian. So obviously a lot of European descent. I've gotten, someone guessed, we have another Polish. Yeah, so I've gotten in the past, I've had a lot of people actually ask me if I'm Russian when they first meet me, or some form of Eastern European, and I think it's the name, it's Natalie, if you don't know me, hi. Natalie paired with, I have had my lips done, so the voluptuous lips, I think, tend to throw people off in this aspect, so I get a lot of Russian, definitely, and I take no offense to that. I'm okay, yeah, sure. So let me pull up my results for you guys. So I have my results here. I actually ended up being really surprised with my results, not because of the actual origins, but because I find whenever I've heard anyone taking any of these tests, there's always 5 different things that you get a ton of different percentages in. Even if you're white, you'll get 25% British, 10% Scottish, 30% French, and then 10% Spanish, whatever. There's always a little bit of a mix in there. Mine happened to be 95% French. So 95% French, and then 5% Irish and Scottish. Yeah, so that did surprise me just a little bit because everyone I've kind of heard do these tests has a ton of different things all mixed in there, and it really just looks like my ancestors kept to themselves and really didn't want to hang out with anyone that didn't speak French, and wasn't part of their little clan. So basically what happened is my ancestors, they immigrated from France to La Gaspésie in Canada, so Gaspé Peninsula, New Brunswick, and Maine. So I guess that's where a ton of the French settlers settled. I know for a fact that in New Brunswick there's a lot of Irish and Scottish descent as well, so I'm sure that's where that comes from, not so much Ireland itself, but I guess some of my French ancestors were very adventurous and, hanging out with the Irish folk that were in Gaspésie, and, but then they came back and kept settling with French people, I guess. So, yeah. So what it actually says here is the establishment of French, this is in the 1900s, the establishment of French Canadian communities in the United States continued to spur immigration from Canada during early 20th century. Although most immigrants retain characteristics of their French Canadian culture, including some level of French speaking in the home, they still began to slowly process of assimilation. New technology like the automobile, vast amounts of advertising, blah, 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 blah. So most descendants of the original settlers of Quebec City had moved to New England, with smaller communities located in New Brunswick and Maine. So I guess a lot of my ancestors would have moved on to the Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Hampshire area. Yeah, so I don't have much else to report. I guess they're kind of boring findings for you guys. And not because I was expecting to find out something crazy about myself, but because it's pretty much just like one thing. So all I can talk about is my French ancestry. So I mean, in that fashion, I guess the haircut is, you know, going back to my roots, and the cute little clips. I feel like a little French girl, and I am. As well as my coffee that I'm drinking today. So ironically, this little cafe down the street called French Maid. It's this cafe in Toronto in the Bisha Hotel. Love it. Their cold brew is so good. And now I have these cute little bottles that say French Maid on it, and I am French Maid. So there we go. So yeah, thank you, Mom, for getting me this test. It was a lot of fun. If it tells me anything, it shows us that my ancestors were not very adventurous and definitely like to hang out with their own kind. Yeah. Now, if anything good has come of this, it has definitely sparked me to better my French speaking. So I went to French school, like full-on French from kindergarten to grade 8. So I like only had English class like when I was in grade 4 or something. So as a child, I pretty much only spoke French. And from then on out, going to an English high school, I feel like I lost so much of it. So I'm going to challenge myself more to listen to French podcasts and read French books and really just brush up on my vocabulary, because it's slipping a little bit and I don't feel super confident. But it's definitely a piece and a part of myself that I don't want to lose, because it's so important to remember where you came from. And I definitely want to be able to teach my children French one day so they can carry that on. So I'm also challenging myself one day, maybe when I hit 1K. Again, I saw this video of James Charles doing his makeup, speaking only in Spanish one day. And I would love to challenge myself to do a video where I'm only speaking French to you guys. If that's something that is at all something you would want, comment below, let me know. If you watched all the way to here, thank you for watching. Comment below, what do you think of the Ancestry DNA test? If you know any more about it, let me know. I know DNA works kind of like in a funny way, and like you don't always get every part of whatever is in your lineage or whatever. But all in all, this was a fun experience, and yeah, it was like cool to get those results and just see that, I don't know, my ancestors were kind of like losers that didn't like to mingle with other people. Again, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be putting out more videos, new content for you guys. So yeah, let me know what you thought, and thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.